Hello and welcome to All About the Gers. It's myself, Ricki Neill, joined with Charlie Miller, and we've also got a special guest today, Jamie Martin. I don't think he's any relation to Russell Martin.
Definitely not.
Definitely not, but we'll get him on a wee minute. I just want to say thank you to all our sponsors. We've got the Loudon Tavern at Ibrox, Plugged In Business Solutions, DB Dental Care, Mr. Singh's India, and Avia Signs. And like I've been saying every week, we're going to be doing a live show in the Loudon Tavern on the 26th of September. We've got Charlie, Derek, and also our special guest, Alex Ray, but we've just announced that we're going to be having Rebecca Octoloni giving us some music for about 30 minutes just before the show, just to warm it up. But in the show, what we normally do is the first half's kind of all the guys' stories and all that, and then the second half will be Q&As. And trust me, I've done a few of these, and they don't hold back, and God knows what it'll be like that night, because it's going to be pretty heated. But first of all, I'm going to introduce Jamie Martin. He had a career at Rangers, a few other teams, but he's now a football agent. Welcome, Jamie. How you doing, pal?
Very well. Been better,
Hi,
but
Jamie, boy.
I'm here. Hi, Charlie.
Aye. So tell us a wee bit about your history, Jamie.
Obviously, an Ayrshire lad, brought up in Irvine, played local football, got scouted by Rangers when I was, I think, about 12. 11, 12. We used to go up to Ibrox Tuesday, Thursday nights, train across the road at the Albion, and played to my local team at the weekends. Fortunate enough to go through the S-Form stage, like Charlie, went through that whole system. Lucky enough at 16, was one of the ones to be offered a pro contract. At the time, Graham Souness, 88-89 season, Graham Souness was installed as manager, along with Walter. So I had a couple of seasons there, pre-pro. Probably the wrong time to be at the club in terms of the success they had, bringing all the international players from England and whatever. But for some fantastic experience I had. I then moved down south, went to Chelsea with John Spencer. Finished up playing with Fulham. That was pretty much it. Kind of reserve player, good player, but I missed a few ingredients. Probably, maybe even. I was at Rangers now. I'd maybe got a chance.
Right. One of the things we've spoke about for a long time, Charlie, is recruitment. And I thought it would be good to get Jamie on there now, because obviously he's a football agent, and he's kind of dangled some players towards Rangers in the past. But Charlie, you've been saying for a long time, it's not about the quantity of players we get, it's quality, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it's about quality. If you get 4 better players and you've already got it, and they come in straight into the team, then it makes the team stronger, because it wasn't all broken last season. There was some positive things last season, as I said in the show the other day, and I have been. But we're signed too many, 10 players, but 10 average players. Lyle Cameron, who didn't get signed by the new regime, has been my success story, him and Gassam. But Felwell's got to have a look at himself as well, because we're signing too many players on loan, and now we've lost Igaman, and I would have drove him away myself after his attitude on Sunday. But as I said, Felwell's got a lot to answer for as well. We can't just keep on signing average championship players. And I've not seen a lot of them yet, but so far, that's what it looked like, average English championship players. And you need to have more about you than that to come and play for Rangers.
Yeah, I had a chat with Jamie just before you come on, Charlie, and he was basically saying the same thing. But with your kind of football history and all the amount of games you go and see, Jamie, as well, you've seen a lot of good players. You've put them in front of Rangers. What's happened? Why are we not taking players like that on?
Well, there's a simple solution here. Is over the last decade, the people upstairs, the hierarchy at Rangers, are not football people. They've no experience of dealing with agents, dealing with players, and basically, for me, they've not got an eye for a player. I could go back to when Coisty was manager. I was introducing players to Rangers who were playing at a good level in England. Neil Murray, a pal of mine, and Charlie's, was scout at the time. We were both brought up in Irvine, Neil and I. Neil was a year older than me. Charlie was a couple of years younger. So I brought a few players up. There's a long list, and they never really got them over the line. There was a couple for me that really hurt. It was Moussa Dembele at Fulham, young striker at the time. Needless to say, ends up going to the other side, scores a hat-trick in his first Old Firm game. That was painful stuff. They could have had him over the line as well. but it never happened. The latest one goes back to probably four seasons ago, probably 2019, 2020. Anton Semenyo. I spoke to Bomber, John Brown at Rangers, who was one of the chief scouts, who I got on with really well. Spoke to Bomber about him. He was in his last season of his contract. My colleague, Tony Finnegan, was his agent. So Tony and I do business together. And we basically offered him to Rangers. And we probably took a big hit at the time. The kind of fee that they were looking at was about £5 million. And we were probably taking a hit because we thought that'd be a great platform for Anton to play European football and be a stepping stone. And I knew for a fact he would hit the ground running in the SPL. I think after a couple of seasons, Rangers would have made an absolute profit in that boy. Right. I had no doubts about that. And I was doing the club a favour. Again, they turned their nose up at it. And they've been signing guys for the same kind of money, not in the same boat as this boy, potentially.
Charlie, do you think the Rangers have now turned into a club where it's all about getting a player, getting them to play well for 2 seasons and then selling them on for the money, which is a big change for what Rangers used to be like? Because when you used to be a Rangers player, you used to want to stay there and used to want to play there.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. We're not bringing enough Scottish players through the grade. We're not bringing enough through because the Scottish ones, you probably get 70% nowadays. Obviously, the money's obscene down in England and wherever now. And it's a short career, as I know, and JMO knows. But you need players who have got Rangers, who want to play for Rangers and who want to stay there, and not just keep on bringing in bang average English players or foreign players. When Souness started the regime of bringing in English players, it was top-notch English players. Obviously, because they weren't playing in Europe, we got away with it a wee bit. But that was the standard we set. And now we're just not setting the standard. We're not bringing enough young kids through. We bring in Finlay Curtis, who's probably been a shining light, as I said the other week. Now he's doing the pecking order because we signed Gassam. Gassam has been one of the positives. Mm-hmm. But we need to start bringing the core back to Scottish players, kids. And we've missed out again in a few Scottish players. Like so, no matter if you like Lennon Miller or not, he would probably have done well for us. He's away to Udinese. You've missed it in Lewis Ferguson, as we know, and early years, a few more we've kind of let slip abroad. But we have to start looking inside and see how the coaching is at Auchenhowie, why we're not bringing enough kids through, because kids nowadays should be getting into that Rangers team with their eyes shut.
A great time to be there, Charlie, in my view.
Oh, 100%.
You've got a chance. If you are dedicated, you've got the right attitude, couple that with the ability, you've got a real chance of breaking into that first team if you really want it enough. And for me, there's not enough quality coming through. The academies are just not producing for whatever reason. In fact, our boys and colleagues were doing a wee stats thing in Scotland. We've got a few players in Scotland now. Most of the stuff's down south, to be honest, but 25% Scottish players playing.
Aye.
In the SPL.
So, Jamie, you're saying that obviously the people on the board and the Rangers men are no football minded kind of thing. What would you want to see happen?
There's various things that need to happen. I think there needs to be people on the board, i.e. a Graham Souness or an Alan McCoy's type person who knows what the club's about, who are big names themselves. They've got great reputations. They'll probably get a list this long of people they could talk to in terms of maybe trying to entice people to the club, sell the club to players. I also think that Charlie touched on it earlier there. This signing 9 and 10 players a season of absolute mediocre players, in my view, has to stop. They have to, if they've got a war chest of 15 million, 20 million, 3 quality players tops. And I would implement that straight away. If I could give the club any advice at all, they'd need to implement that straight away. And within 2 seasons, then you've got 6 players who are household names, not mediocre players and not run-of-the-mill. Within a couple of seasons, you might find that Rangers will actually be challenging Celtic again. And that's what has to happen.
Aye. I don't really want to talk about it, but we need to talk about last night's game as well. So I'm just going to tell you the starting 11 So we had Butland, Aarons, Suter, De Giga, Makoma, Roswell, Cameron, Asgard, Ant-Man, Gisam, Danilo. Yet again, Charlie, the team was leaked, but there was a couple of shocks. Tavernier, Tavernier and Raskin were dropped, and there's rumours now that they've actually been told to find another club, and that's why they weren't starting last night. What did you think about that, Charlie?
Was Diamandi suspended, or was he no in the squad either?
Oh, he was on. I don't know if you seen him. He came on. He came on.
He dropped Raskin, Diamandi, and Tav. The three were best players, no doubt about it. And we've got in there as the boy Rothwell. I feel sorry for Rothwell because he is one of the manager's players. He's a good player, but he can't get about the pitch. He's technically a good player, but he's not good enough for Rangers at the moment. Aarons is a rabbit in the headlights. The poor guy. He's not good enough. Tav's better than him. Other years, but people are moaning about Tav, but Tav is much better than him. And I'll tell you one person I felt sorry for last night was Butland. It was like shooting practice just all night. The poor guy, he's had 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 saves in that first half to keep it down to 5. It was incredible.
Charlie, never a good thing. Never a good thing if your goalkeeper's your best player every week.
Oh, 100%. And but you have to applaud him because he was getting shots coming from all angles at him and producing some great saves. But miles away, the manager, and I can't stick up for the manager. I've tried to give him his time to try, but that last night was a farce. Last night was the worst I've ever seen. The no heart, no shape. It was so wide open. Defensively poor. With Giga, I said I would send him back to Wolves last week, and I still would. At the moment, Derek Ferguson is right about Aarons. I fancied Aarons. I thought he might have got better, but at the moment, he's just come back away. I hate being on here slagging the players, but having a go. But last night was diabolical because they're no a Liverpool or a PSG or Real Madrid. They're Club Brugge, who are a good, solid Belgian team, who early years have done well in Europe. Last year, I think they got to the last 16. Good for them. But we can't get beat 6-0 when it could have been 10 or 12-0 last night. I'm just glad they stop playing in the last 20 minutes, or it was a cricket score. It was that bad. But you've got to have a wee bit more pride about yourself, working your ass off, booting somebody, getting close to somebody, shouting at your teammates, getting your teammates together. But the manager's got a lot to answer, and I just don't see how what happened Sunday. I really worry. It's scary for Sunday because we could be 9 points behind Celtic and the league's away, and they're garbage as well. But they're run better than us, and I just don't see it turning because the players aren't good enough. I just don't see it turning. We've actually went back away for Philip Clement last year.
Charlie, I was just going to come in there. I went to St Mirren game last Sunday. I also watched Celtic at Parkhead, the first opening game of the season. Obviously, players playing and keeping an eye. What I saw on Sunday at St Mirren, and I wasn't surprised because I knew it was coming. I thought we would do well to get a draw there. I fancied St Mirren before it because I thought they would bully us. Steve Robinson, by the way, fantastic manager, underrated. He gets the best out of players. And I knew they would throw everything in the kitchen sink at any opportunity, throw balls in the box, because we cannot defend. I looked at the whole squad, and the starting 11, Charlie, I'd probably kept 4 of them. Now, that's never a good thing. If you're only keeping 4 players out that starting 11, and there was another couple on the bench, I thought, yes, possibly. But I thought, obviously, we just touched on Jack Butland there. Jack Butland, without a doubt, I'd keep. None of the defence. They can all go. Every one of them. Not good enough. Not Rangers class. Midfield, Gassam, you touched on that. I'd keep him. I think he's got something about him. And Raskin has to play as a number 6. What he sees in Joe Rodwell, when you've got a player who was your best player of the season last season, by far, as a number 6, is a better player than Joe Rodwell. Charlie just touched on it as well. Max Aarons at left back was an absolute shambles. They then accommodate him to go right back. Again, no improvement whatsoever. Right? I looked at the stats on both of these players I've particularly mentioned here. Right? There's 10 games I've played. Joe Rothwell has not finished a game for 90 minutes. Right? He's been bought off after an hour, roughly 70 minutes, every game. Aaron's is the same. He's finished one game of 90 minutes. The rest, they've came off. And to be honest, see when they've come off, Rangers have improved because Tavs went on. Raskins went into a position where he should be playing, driving the midfield and playing as a number 6. So for me, he's made a rod for his own back. The guy has to go. I was coming in here with a mindset today going, do you know what? If he gets half a no bad result last night, it takes us into Sunday. He's got a window open to Monday, which finishes at 7 o'clock. He's maybe got a chance to bring a striker in and players that would make an improvement. After what I saw last night, I cannot come in here and defend the guy, right? You'd have been better installing Ricki Martin, the singer. His namesake. Russell Martin has been living La Vida Loca since he was installed as Rangers manager. Now, for anybody that doesn't know what that means, right, I'll break it down for you. Right, it means living the crazy life. That's what that means. He's been living that since he was installed as manager. Right? He's made the rod for his own back, as I said, and there's many things contributed to this. Playing players out of position. I watched the first couple of games. Raskin's playing left of a midfield. Suter's playing left defence. Aarons was playing left. The whole team looked disjointed. They were looking at each other. I can understand Raskin getting hump. He's looking and going, there's no way this George Rodwell's a better player than me. Why am I getting shoved out on the left? That's why the boy spat the dummy out and had an argument with them. That's not good enough.
There's also difference when Raskin having a go at the manager. At least he's kept it indoors, supposedly anyway. But Raskin's got to play. The number 6 is a made up bloody stupid position anyway. For me, it was always if you're a midfielder, you got box to box, and that was it. Yeah. When your duels against your player. But
pulling the strings in midfield, Charlie. If you're a player in midfield, you're pulling the strings.
I know, but for where he has to play before Rothwell. Tav's got to play right back. Suter's got to play right centre back. And I said last week, I think it was Ricki, Ben Davies has got to be better than the other ones. We signed Fernandez for $3.5 million, and the guy said maybe 2 games. Only got a game last week because Chiga was suspended. We're just throwing that £3.5 million on a young guy who isn't ready to play. What the hell's happening?
Mm-hmm. Charlie, I'm just going to come in there. I've just said an announcement on the Daily Record that says Miofsky's en route to Rangers after bargain transfer deal with Girona struck. What's your thoughts on that?
Very good signing. I'd take him all day long. I'm surprised, but we didn't go from last season when we had the chance. I think he'll be a good player. He's tally of goals for Aberdeen, and I think it was like 1 and 2, and he'll do better than that in Scotland. Well, he should. He would have last season, but with the squad we've got to know, it's just all over the place. But Miofsky's a good one, I think. I like him. He leads the line well. But we need more than Miofsky. We need 4 or 5 quality players, and Miofsky's he'll be one, but we need another 3 or 4 before the window shuts.
Jamie is saying that we're getting him for about 2.6 million. When you think we spent things like 5 million on Diomande.
Oh, listen, there's a list. There's a long list, and it goes back to even when Gerrard was in charge. But at least Gerrard brought players in. We made a profit. You know, like Calvin Bassey, Joe Rebo, and these guys. But after that, you know, the Mickey Beals and Clemonts, we've all had a war chest of 15, 20 million. On players, honestly, nowhere near the quality Rangers Football Club to play week in, week out for Rangers. 5.5 millions, 6 millions for Danilos. The list goes on. I've got a long list here, but I don't think we've got enough time to get through it. But the money they're spending, and they've all had money, including Russell Martin. But what they're buying is nowhere near the standard required to play for Rangers. Simple as that.
No, there's the chat is going nuts. We've got over 1,000 people watching the show live right at the moment. So the chat's coming in for YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm trying to keep up with them all. People, I don't know if he's definitely signed yet or anything. It just says he's en route. Would you start him if possible, Charlie, on Sunday?
I would start him left back, centre back, right back,
Yes.
left midfield, striker, left wing, and right wing if he could possibly do that. Because we're all over the place, an absolute nightmare. And as I hate this, I really do. It's hurting. Watching it last night, like imagine being there, imagine paying all that dough to get there and watch that atrocity. I don't like sacking managers. We don't want to sack managers all the time. But it's looking terrible. I just don't see how he survives. See after Sunday, and if the 49ers are going to stick by him, then there could be 10, 15, 20,000 fans at the games. If we get beat by Celtic on Sunday, I think the fans will no turn up because they're not enjoying what they're seeing.
Charlie
It should have been a whatever you call it, a celebration of the 49ers coming in, 5 or 6 quality players, bang, right in the squad. There you go. That's us on the front foot. And
Charlie, that's exactly what my theory was. When they came in, I think everybody, any fan or any Rangers person would have thought this could be a David Murray situation when he took over. We're going to get back to where we should. They should be signing marquee signings for me as a manager. And then your first couple of players go out with some intent, get household names who would hit the ground running. And that's what I thought was going to happen when these guys came in. But I've seen the opposite. It's actually worse. I think we're a worse squad than we had last season by miles.
Mm-hmm. Do you know, I wasn't sure how it goes. You know, everybody's saying get rid of the loan players and then I wasn't sure if you can actually legally do that, but it sounds like you can. And I'm the same as you, Charlie. You don't want a manager sacked that quick, but I think last night is just it's just gone far. It's just terrible now. You know, I actually think we're at a stage where we need to just do a full reset. If we get beaten Sunday, the league's gone. I think we just need to do a full reset, sack the manager. Even I think some on the board need to get looked at as well.
Absolutely. For top to bottom, this needs to be looked at.
Fairwell's got a lot to answer. Fairwell's got hunters to answer because he brought the players in. He's brought maybe Martin's asked for Rothwell.
Charlie, that's the question. The question I was going to say earlier. Who's in charge of bringing the players in? Now, I've got a good idea of who is. But what I'm saying is, if Russell Martin has no input in who's coming in and out, right, remember that Rangers have installed him as a head coach. So to me, that says that he's not got full power of who's coming in and who's coming out the door as a player for that club. Now, I've got a good idea of who is bringing in the players. So they've got some questions to answer because the players they're bringing in are nowhere near it. But in the same breath, Charlie, surely Russell manager has to have some sort of input.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think
you cannot justify playing the players that have started for Rangers this season who are nowhere near it.
Well, what I think he's obviously had Aarons and Rothwell. I think he's been with him. I think because he knows him. But the thing I said last season, I didn't realize Fairwell was at Everton. Everton spent £1 billion in transfers and nearly get relegated.
Yeah.
It's just beyond me. There must be, it's a mate's rates here, man. I'll get him in, he'll go and ruin us, and then we'll take him there. It's a shambles.
There's guys that don't know Scottish football, Charlie, as well.
The signings over the last 3-4 years been atrocious, and there's been a lot to answer these director of football guys. And I just imagine if Walter was the manager now, if the director of football with Walter, would be like, cover off, you know, because Walter knows who he wants and who he doesn't want, and what position he needs and what position he doesn't need. And that's something that kind of saves Martin a wee bit, because I don't think they're all his signings.
Aye, but see,
he He's still playing them, Charlie.
Aye, like
Oh,
Russell Martin last night after the game, you know, he's talking about some of the players, you know, they might be going, so they're not giving it their all. If you're a professional footballer, you've no signed for another team yet, you think you'd want to be in the shop window showing what you can do, Jamie?
Absolutely. For two reasons. For your own self-esteem, showing that you've got a good attitude, you're still professional, even if you know in your own mind, right? And I'll go back to the Hamza situation on Sunday, right? I can understand why that boy was pissed off. Because looking at who started up front has not been doing it, right? Right? Danilo's not been doing it. He comes into the game on Sunday against St Mirren as a sub. They play another guy out of position, Asgard, up front. Honestly, the list goes on the amount of players playing out of position. This has been a major problem. Charlie will tell you, right? There's like on occasions you have to play out of position with maybe somebody's got an injury and you're asked to do a job. But 9 times out of 10, you have to play players in their best position that they play week in, week out. And there's been too many changes. You're 10 games into the season, he doesn't know his best 11.
Mm-hmm. It's the same last, we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago regarding bringing the young boys through, and we Bailey Rice starting, and they start some at left bloody back. The boys are left, he's a midfielder, the boy. Then the wee boy gets injured, playing out of position. As we said, play him in midfield where he's good, where he's a good player in midfield. He knows what he's doing there. Maybe a wee bit different from playing left back, obviously, but play him where he's good. Let the wee guy get minutes in his area. Let him show you that, by the way, if I get injuries in midfield, he's right in. Or if he comes in and does well, you keep him in. Yeah.
He's killed the boy. Playing him left back.
Aye. Charlie, you always hear the managers losing the dressing room and things like that, but Russell Martin's not just lost the dressing room, he's lost the fans, but he actually lost maybe about 70% of the fans even before he became the Rangers manager, because he wasn't actually even in the top 10 in my choices. Obviously, you want to give him the chance, but do you think that's his future over, and do you think the 49ers will actually do something about it, or are they going to give him like a year?
Well, I didn't want Russell Martin, but as you said, he came in, you support him, you want him to do well. He was pissing against the wind as soon as he came in with 70%, maybe 80% of the fans. But the fans were willing to give him a chance. But watching that last night, the fans are in bewilderment. But what shape are we playing? It must be the widest open football team I've ever seen. We're going there 3-1 down. You want to stay in the game as long as possible. You want to make sure you can nick a wee chance. Go play tight, 4-5-1. Go be hard to beat, hard to break down. We're the easiest team to break down that I've ever seen. It's farcical. We've got 2 wingers who don't come inside to block the balls down between the midfield and the other team's wingers. But they just stand wide. They do nothing. Ant-Man for the first goal last night. He had a great game in his first game. No seen him since. Last night, doesn't go with his runner. The boy whips the ball in. Giga and Suter. Giga, obviously, because Giga's playing the right-hand side. The wrong side of the bloody striker. Come on, you have to be goal side of the man. That's simple defending. It's simple as a kid.
That's basics.
It's honestly
basic defending, Charlie. I witnessed it on Sunday versus St Mirren. Well, that boy, right? They get caught. They were too wide. Playing like you could have drove a bus through them, Suter and the centre backs. Honestly, one ball does them. Now, Charlie, tell you, thumb rule of defending is, right? You pick up, organise. There's nobody commanding. Nobody's taking charge at the back, saying, right, Suter, you go in front of him. If he plays a ball into the striker, I can maybe get in front of him, stop the ball getting to feet, and I'll cover him behind. But there's none of that. They're wide open, as Charlie says. Honestly, every team playing against us, they're no disrespect to all of us in this world and the teams we've played. Everybody fancies their chances scoring against Rangers because they cannot defend to save their lives. There's nobody commanding. Charlie will tell you, see when I broke into Rangers at 16, I'm in a dressing room and you're looking around and you're going, Graham Roberts, Gary Stevens, Bomber. Bomber used to hit his head off the dressing room wall before he went out to play. That's how much it meant to him. Terry Butchers in this world, Big Richard Gough. These guys were all winners. They would go out and put their head where it hurts. And all I'm saying, Charlie, as I say to my wee boy, I have a laugh with him. Don't tickle, tackle. That means put a foot in. Be prepared to go and commit yourself to a challenge. These guys are dipping their toe in cold water, as in tackling. They're scared. They're absolutely scared to go in and put a challenge in. You cannot run a team like that.
Well, Shane, that's what we spoke about last week. Remember, Ricky, I said the goal against Brugge last Wednesday night was the exact same. Although Gers got to run back and just pass it back to, pass it back to Butland. But the two of them were so square on both of the occasions, on Sunday and against Brugge. The two of them were so square, it was just one ball through and you're done for. As you say, one has to go in, kind of in front, one covers in behind. It's just basic defending.
Definitely.
Right. The 49ers are kind of now starting to get a wee bit of abuse as well online because, they need to make a decision and need to make it quick. I've already said how I feel about Russell Martin. I think we should have a full reset. I would actually get him out before the Old Firm game. Honestly, that's how I feel about it now. And I hate saying that, but I would get him out now. Same way, maybe after Old Firm, think about getting rid of some of the loan players. Just a total reset, because the way it's going now, we're not going to challenge for the league. I'd rather reset, start again with a new manager, fresh approach, and actually go out with a fight. You know what I mean? But I'm going to put it to you two guys. I'll come to you, Jamie, first. If you're one of the 49ers, how would you handle this?
It's quite an easy solution for me. If I'm one of the 49ers and I'm involved in investing money into the club and I want the best for this club, I'm sacking Russell Martin straight away. And then I'm looking at who am I going to bring in. Now, there's options out there. In Scotland, there's been a couple. There's been Derek McInnes been thrown about. I think Derek's missed the boat, personally. Should have probably took it early on. Steve Robinson in the SPL, fantastic manager. St Mirren board will probably hate me for saying this, but he is underrated. He could really do well. But as I said earlier, Rangers need to go and install a manager that can entice players. Now, the only one recently that's done that is Stevie Gerrard. They should have been out in a wing to get Steven Gerrard back. That guy, he was getting players to come and play for him simply because of who he was. Russell Martin's not got the pulling power, the same as Stevie Gerrard. They had a chance to go and get Frank Lampard 6 months ago. Look at the job he's doing at Coventry City. They should have installed him as well. They had big chances to go and get big names as managers, which they should have done straight away, in my view. So the fans stood up, pricked their ears up and went, oh, these guys are meaning business. Look who we've got in charge. And look who they've got in their first player. Look who's their second player. Instead of that, we're all looking going, Russell Martin? Who's he signing? Who? They're not even household names.
All right, Charlie?
If I'm Russell Martin, if I'm 49ers, I'm going to begin to Bob to Kevin Felwell. I know that for a fact. And I wouldn't begin Felwell money to back Russell Martin. I'm disappointed. I really am. And I hate having a go at the manager. I hate wanting change. But the longer this goes, the worse it's going to get for me. And I don't even think it can get any worse. It's that bad at the moment. Well, it can. We could end up bloody bottom of the league if we get beaten Sunday and other results go against us. But it's hard. It's hard to take. And all these fans and that have been to Belgium, been to Pilsen and paying season tickets, paying lounges. They go to their lounges or hospitality. They're spending thousands a year and they're having to watch that drivel. I feel for these people as well because just take, and the fans are getting nothing back. They're getting nothing for their money.
That's happening at both clubs, Charlie, in my view. Celtic are the same.
I don't care about it, to be honest with you, but
no, agreed.
But we just have to make sure we look after ourselves, and the fans are just getting cheated, I would say, because some of the players are miles away. And I'd still go back to last season when we had the nucleus of a team with 4 or 5, and I keep on saying it, we bring 4 or 5 right good ones in, and would have kicked on. It wouldn't have been a problem. All these changes is made Tav want to leave, or want to fight with the manager. It's made Raskin want to fight with the manager. Dessers have a go at the manager. the team have got the manager, so they're all none of them like the manager, so he's lost.
No, I think this is partly the reason why he's clearly lost the dressing room, Charlie.
Yeah.
You've got a guy in Dessers there. Now listen, I wasn't a lover of Dessers, but you can't, his goal ratio in the last couple of seasons has been very good. He's not the best player in the world, but he's got goals. And that boy was touted to leave, right? They didn't fancy him. They thought, we've had a couple of good seasons at him. Let's cash in on him. Now, the club in Greece, obviously, they were trying to get in the region of what they paid for him, plus a bit more, maybe in the region of £4 million. But what my sources are saying, this boy is going away in the summer. He played down at Brentford in the African Nations Tournament, which set him a couple of weeks behind. So your teams, he was playing for Nigeria, obviously, in this tournament. So he was a couple of weeks behind for pre-season. They sent him away. He got married. He's thinking when he's going away that I'm coming back and there's going to be a deal done that's on the table. I'm going out to Greece. Happy days. I'm getting married. I'm moving on. It then turns the complete other way. He's come back and they've went, well, that club, I know for a fact, offered £2 million for him. Rangers have not accepted that bid. So they're going, no, we're going to keep you now. So there's a guy unhappy. 1 minute he's thinking, I'm away. Next minute, they want me. So he's pissed off. Laskin's pissed off. There's numerous players under that bracket.
It's bad. There's a Rahman on STV. He just said Rangers have agreed a fee with Girona for Majowski. STV can reveal initial fee of around 2.6 million, rising to around 4.2 million with add-ons. I'm quite happy with that, and I'd start him on Sunday. Right, we are going to come to the Old Firm eventually because we're running fastly out of time. But like I said at the start of the show, we're going to be doing a live gig in the Loudon Tavern at Ibrox on the 26th of September. It's only £10 a ticket, and you can get your tickets at allaboutthegers.co.uk. And like I said earlier, we've got Rebecca Octolone. She's going to be giving us a wee 30-minute set just before the guys come on. All right, so go and get your tickets now. They're on the early bird just now, so they're only £10 a ticket. So just go to allaboutthegers.co.uk. And for you, the guys that have just joined us, we're actually joined by Jamie Martin, who's mates with Charlie. He's ex-Rangers, signed pro, ended up at Chelsea, but now he's working as a football agent. So I thought it would be good to get him on to talk about recruitment and things like that. But let's, in fact, before we go to the depressing bit of the Old Firm, can you tell us, we always do this wee thing, if you were to pick a five-a-side team, who would your 5 players be, Jamie?
All time?
All time. You can pick any time.
Oh, that's quite easy for me. It's a bit kamikaze in terms of the defensive unit, but these 5 I would go with. I'd obviously go with Gorham, who was magnificent. Gascoigne.
I'd him in.
Laudrup. David Cooper and Mark Walters.
That's a good team, Charlie, isn't it?
He's got 3 of my players in it. And I've got Durant and Coisty instead of the other 2.
But Durant was your idol, Charlie, wasn't he?
No, Durant was my idol as well. And a great guy. When I was a youngster, and Charlie's probably the same. That's a guy that, heart in his sleeve stuff that we spoke about earlier. Always looked after the young boys. Told us what Rangers was about. Always gave you boots and stuff like that. Looked after you. An absolute gentleman, a guy. Not enough of that in the dressing rooms these days in terms of home talent. And back to then, you had Ian Ferguson's. A whole group of guys who Rangers mad. Wore their sleeve in their jersey and wanted it. I don't see any of that now.
I know. It's bad. Today we've got some amount of Celtic fans joining us, by the way, on the chat. I'm trying my best to block them, but yeah, more than welcome to join in, but just don't put any abuse on their chat, please. They are a wee bit obsessed, Charlie, aren't they?
Changes.
Anyway, Charlie, how do we approach Sunday? Should we be starting with some of the young boys like Curtis and things like that?
I think he has to go back to last season's kind of shape. But he'll no day, he'll play 4-3-3, wide open as hell. But you have to go back to hard to beat, 4-5-1, maybe take out Ant-Man, play Gassama, maybe just Alpha, Dessers or Majowski, whoever's going to start, and then be hard to break down. But we're so easy, we're so open. And I think we've had 164 shots in 10 games against us. Something like that.
It's bad, isn't it? Jamie, what's your thoughts on Sunday?
My thoughts are, I think we'll be in trouble. Honest assumption. I think everyone else here would take a draw. But getting into this game, I'm not fulfilled with confidence. In saying that, I did go to Celtic Park the opening day of the season, seen them against St Mirren, and they were the same. You know, teams are setting out 5 at the back, and it's hard to break down. And Celtic were knocking on the door, and it took till James Forrest come on. Again, going back to backwards passing all the time. James Forrest come on with 15 minutes to go, and actually old school, just started running at people and opened them up. There's not enough of that, but I just see it being a draw. I fancy the 1-1, and we're obviously in the league. We're quite good at that at the minute. Last 3 games have been 1-1.
Right. Charlie, before you come on, I was talking to Jamie as well about former players, and obviously the stories of a bomber before an Old Firm, like hyperventilating into a brown bag and things like that. Do you think any players in the current Rangers squad know how much an Old Firm means to the fans?
I love it. Obviously, the ones that have been there for a few years, Tav and the likes of that. But the ones that have just come in have no idea. They've not got a clue. But they'll be in for a shock on Sunday. Because the fans will let them know. If you think drawing 1 each with Dundee at Ibrox and you get booed off, it's harsh. Wait till you play against this Celtic mob on Sunday.
Surely can he play Rodwell in the middle of the park, Charlie?
I'll
give you, before we finish, I'll give you a wee chuckle. I'm at this game on Sunday against St Mirren. My wee boy Matteo, he's sitting next to me. He's only 8, nearly 8 in September. Right, Joe Rothwell gets the ball in the middle of the park, won the half turn, Charlie, middle of the park, similar to yourself, and Fergie kind of looking to spray a ball out to the right hand flank, 50, 60 yard, which we used to call World Cup balls. Listen, this ball went out the park by about 20 yards away from the target, right? He absolutely shanked this thing. My wee boy turns to me and he said, "Dad, we've been told to do that." I says, "What's that, son?" He says, "It's good sportsmanship to kick the ball out the pitch if somebody's injured." And I had to turn to him, Charlie, honestly. And I looked at him and I went, "There's nobody injured, son." And I had to chuckle. That's how bad he is.
Aye, it's bad. It's bad. It can only get better. Anyway, we need to do this bit. So
Score predictions brought to you by Avia Signs.
Right, Jamie, since you're our guest, we'll let you go first. Score prediction for Sunday. Oh, you've already said it, didn't you?
I said it. 1-1.
1-1. Charlie?
I'm going to say 2-1 to us, but I'm kidding myself on.
I think I said it the other night. I actually feared Sunday more than I was fearing last night.
Well, that was not so great.
It isn't great. And Miovski, if he starts, if it's true he's signed, maybe we've got a chance, because he scored a few against Celtic as well. But it's just getting the ball to him, so aye. Anyway, I'm going to say the same as you, Charlie. 2-1. I just wear my blue specs on right enough, but hopefully we get something. But Jamie, really appreciate you coming on. It was really
Jamie, good to see you, pal.
Hey, Charlie.
We'll definitely get you on again.
That
was really good.
We'll have much more to discuss further down the line, I'm sure.
Aye, well, hopefully the 49ers are watching this podcast. A few people in the chat have been saying that the 49ers actually watch Rangers podcasts. So if you're watching this one, just do the right thing by the Rangers fans and get rid of Russell Martin right now. Yeah. And who you get in, do you bring back Barry, or there's rumours about Stevie Gerrard, rumours about Lampard. Don't know if they'd come back or if Lampard can even come. But aye, we need something. So thanks again to all of our sponsors, the Loudon Tavern at Ibrox, Plugged In Business Solutions, DB Dental Care, Mr. Singh's India, and Avia Signs. And I'll be in the Loudon just before kick-off doing the latest issue of Fan Zone. And Charlie, God knows what that's going to be like this week. There'll be a lot of upset Rangers fans, won't there, before the game?
Yep. Poor guys, man. Poor guys.
But hopefully we can lift it for Sunday. But take care, and we'll see you back on Monday afternoon. All right, take care, guys.
All the
Yes.
best, guys.